in the ongoing negotiation. Turkey has in Gaza. Nigerians have again been called to the current administration's transformation drive. The Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, made the call at the second Chronicle Roundtable held in Abuja. He expressed optimism that the nation's history overcomes the ongoing reforms and sacrifices occasioned by the hard decisions taken by President Tinubu. Senator Shettima, who was the guest speaker at the roundtable, explained that the key policy decisions taken by the current administration were aimed at saving the nation from imminent collapse. The government at the center says plans are underway to revive the Agile Kuta Steel Company. The Minister of Steel Development, Alhaji Shoaib Abubakar, stated this during an interactive session with the House of Representatives Committee on Steel Development in Abuja on Thursday. He said the government was already preparing a 10-year working document for the revival of the company. According to him, it was in the country's interest for the company to work so as to boost its economy. The federal government will not relent to put in place stringent policies that will take away difficulties in the mining operations. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dr. Dele Alake, stated this in Abuja on Thursday. According to him, it is necessary to review mining licenses in order to boost investors' confidence and galvanize the sector, along with other positive impacts that current reforms are having on the sector, soliciting the support of stakeholders for the impending increase in fees for mining licenses and other sundry fees. The minister stressed that it has become inevitable if the government is to effectively fulfill its obligations of providing a living environment for mining operations while also raising more revenue for the government. The Nigerian Governors Forum has emphasized the need for the government and organized labor to come up with a sustainable minimum wage in the ongoing negotiations. The governors made the call in a communique issued at the end of its meeting held on Thursday. They assured labor of governors' commitment to pay the workers an improved wage, noting that they are assessing each state government's fiscal capacity and the potential effects of different proposals to determine an enhanced minimum wage that could be sustained by the states. The forum acknowledged various initiatives adopted of recently by way of wage awards and partial wage adjustments, adding that the tripartite committee on the national minimum wage is still in consultation and yet to conclude its work. Journalism is crucial in giving a face to those affected by environmental crises and advocating environmental conservation. It is therefore important to position the media to amplify environmental stories for a sustainable future. These were the words of a journalist, Mr. Daniel R. Health and Agriculture, in a chat with OGBC as the World Press Freedom Day is observed this Friday. Speaking on the theme of the day, A Press for the Planet, Journalism in the Face of Environmental Crisis, Mr. Agan said the theme highlighted the importance of environmental journalism and a free press, on the need to ensure the safety of journalists as they tell the stories in crisis-ridden areas. So the safety of the storytellers should be a priority, pointing out that media advocacy is environmental degradation and promotes a clean and safe society. Mr. Agan called for a free press society as well as fact-based reportage. You're listening to the media news on OGBC 90.5 FM. Turkey has suspended all trade with Israel over its offensive, citing the worsening humanitarian tragedy in the street. The Turkish Trade Ministry said the measures would be in place until Israel allowed an uninterrupted and sufficient flow of aid into Gaza. Trade between the two countries was worth almost $7 billion last year. Israel's foreign minister, Mr. Israel Katz, accused Turkish President Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan of acting like a dictator. Mr. Katz said on X that Mr. Erdogan was disregarding the interests of the Turkish people and businessmen and ignoring international trade agreements. Myanmar's military government will no longer allow conscription age men to travel out of the country for work, weeks after an enlistment order prompted many to try and flee. Authorities said on Thursday that it would suspend all applications from men for overseas work permits. There is a large diaspora of Myanmar citizens working in other countries in Asia, and previously locals had been allowed to leave for jobs abroad. But the restrictions come as the junta battles increased opposition in the country's ongoing civil war. The junta had imposed the conscription order in February, following months of losses. Nearly 100,000 men applied for work permits. In the 3 months after that, part of a wider exodus of people fleeing. Iranian Foreign Minister Mr. Hossein Ambarabuladian said Iran has released the crew of a seized Portuguese flagged ship linked to Israel in what it described as an act of humanitarianism, adding that Tehran has retained control of the vessel. Iran's foreign ministry said the seized ship, which turned off its radar in Iran's territorial water and jeopardized the security of navigation, is under judicial detention. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps seized control of NSC Aris, which had a crew of 25 in the Strait of Hormuz on April 13th, accusing of it violating maritime laws. The seizure came only days after a suspected Israeli strike on Iran's consulate in Damascus, Syria, for which Tehran pledged to retaliate. US President Mr. Joe Biden has called Japan and India xenophobic, grouping them together with Russia and China as countries that do not want immigrants. His criticism of Japan comes just weeks after he called the US Japan alliance unbreakable during a state visit from Prime Minister Mr. Fumio. India is also a key US partner, despite US concerns about human rights and religious freedoms there. The White House says that Mr. Biden meant no offense to either country. While speaking to a predominantly Asian American audience at a campaign fundraising event, Mr. Biden said that the US election this November was about freedom, America, and democracy. On sport, Bayern Leverkusen claimed a 2-0 first-leg victory at Roma to take command of their Europa League semi-final. Goals from Florian Wirtz and Rodandrick gave the Bundesliga champions only their second win in Italy. The victory Xabi Alonso's side's unbeaten run to 47 matches in all competitions. The other semi-final first leg between Marseille and Atalanta finished 1-1 at Stade Velodrome. The socio-economic development of the nation requires concerted efforts. Play your own part. To end the midday news, another look at the major items. Speaking at the second Chronicle Roundtable held in Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima reassured Nigerians of improved socio-economic well-being. The Nigerian Governors Forum, in a communique at the end of its meeting held on Thursday, harped on a sustainable minimum wage in the ongoing negotiations. We also heard the Turkish Trade Ministry on Thursday. The news was edited by Idris Adelakon and broadcast from OGBC, Abeokuta.